give me a go again.
Okay. Jason, we're back. Thanks for that, and we'll reintroduce you. So Jason is back from WSAA, talk about WLab to identify and address council needs. Thanks, Jason.
All good. It seems the technology wants to go on happy hour as well at the moment, so glad we could figure something out. Many thanks to the Innovate for Water team for being able to bring such a wide variety of stakeholders and actors within the water innovation space. And on behalf of WSAA, we are definitely excited to be able to play our part in the support and advancements of the space within the sector. So if you could go to the next slide, please. So for our international virtual visitors and perhaps some local ones, WSAA is the Peak Urban Water Industry Association body, where we represent around 100 public and private utilities and councils across Australia and New Zealand. We drive a vision for the urban water industry, which is committed to anchoring its services around customers' values and seeking to enrich communities where water services have a broad economic, environmental, and social value. Next slide, please. So here are kind of the three central functions around which WSAA seeks to operate as a not-for-profit organization. And I won't go into all of them in too much detail, but just to touch on collaboration, this is just to raise the point, especially where we aim to offer impact at scale in terms of the ability of rallying our utility members to tackle shared issues, often where it may be too big to undertake alone. In terms of advocacy, we have a strong aspect in which we aim to engage with the federal government on key issues around policy, regulation, and legislation pertinent to the sustainable operations and impact that this has on the industry as a whole. And I think importantly for today and for this evening, a focus of innovation. And what really excites us about being here is the notion of how we embark on the setup and support of what we're considering as an innovation and technology ecosystem for both our members and even looking at the broader industry. So a key element of this is fostering the acceleration and adoption of technological innovation through the development of what I'm presenting here today in the process of the WLab. Next slide, please. So in order to provide some context and background to the WLab, building on the work undertaken through the Technology Approval Group, or TAG, which I'm sure potentially many of you may be familiar with, which has been run by our utilities over a number of years leading up to 2019 in partnership with WSAA, we sought to really update the process, which basically initially provided a simple menu of technologies which are pitched at various business units, often without a set objective or strategy in mind in terms of the application of those technological innovations to advance or achieve a defined objective. So while we would see successful follow through to trials of technologies that were presented through this kind of the TAG process, we still experienced a very low uptake and subsequently success for the adoption of these technology innovations into the marketplace and supporting our utility members in the operations that they're doing. If you could go to the next slide, please. So, fast track to earlier this year, where we embarked on a process of advertising to seek support and expertise to really revolutionize the current system. So, WSAA is now currently partnered with ThinkPlace and our utilities, which have helped us in the formation and development of what we're now terming the WLab. So, this is a process in which the planning for the setup of this facility is being undertaken at the moment, and that's being undertaken by the utility members for the utility members, within which I've presented at the bottom of the slide sort of the key design stages, which aims to follow a systems approach and incorporating design thinking principles to be able to engage with utility members in the development and setup of a technology roadmap, which aims to be a more targeted and focused approach for the trialing, demonstration, and hopefully adoption of technologies to advance the urban water industry in meeting the current and forecasted challenges as has been kind of presented and spoken about over the last few days or so. The next slide, please. So we've come up with sort of 4 innovation frames, and the focus around the development of these has been able to set a desired state for utilities from which the selection of technologies will be based to help achieve this desired state. So these frames range from the aspect of the customer and customer value to enterprise with a focus on the business to opportunities in achieving local, regional, and interconnected circular economies. And last but definitely not least, how to further protect, leverage, and enhance natural systems through the application of technology. Next slide, please. So out of these innovation frames, a portfolio is being developed, which aims to be able to assess technologies against core, adjacent, and transformational horizons, which are being further refined through the current process of the launch pads, which is on the next slide, where we are currently involved in initiating and the completion of these various launch pads associated with innovation frames, which are ideating on the development of market briefs for the prioritization and of key technologies, and the selection and identification of innovation champion teams to take these forward through our member networks. So from the development of the market briefs, the formation of a technology roadmap will ultimately assist in guiding the transformation of how we decide and apply technological innovations to deliver the utility of the future today. And lastly, just again to say thank you very much to the Innovate for Water team. And for those utilities and councils who are still interested or who may be interested, we are still welcoming them to be part of the WLab process. So please do get in touch, and thank you very much for this opportunity again.